welcome to the EPROM 9, where we talk about COPPA in this instance, because I've actually had people ask me about this. Let's see if I can get myself into frame a bit better. Yes, I look a bit mangy, and you can see it in all proper high quality detail. I worked from home today, so yeah, I literally still have the get out of bed look. And, well, it's Friday, everything's going to go in the wash, so Jim Jam's can go in the wash. I'm probably going to have a bath after the video, bed linen in the wash, all that good stuff. Sits on the air for another week, sits on the air for the next week, that's the way it goes. Let's see. I should have done much more pre-setting up with the framing. I've got the focus right though, right enough. It looks good on the 1080p monitor there that I've got hooked up to the camera. Annoyingly, there's no battery information on the live view of the camera. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, so my thoughts on the whole COPPA thing. This seems to be a case of another one of those instances where it's YouTube policies being blown way out of proportion. Yes, anyone who does a kids channel, they are royally and truly fucked. And this is why, and this goes into why I have never actually seriously considered moving into doing YouTube as a full-time thing, or really worrying about any monetization on YouTube at all. I've pondered with the idea of having like t-shirts which are kind of themed on what I do, and the conclusion there is, yeah, I'd like to do that, but it takes time to make designs and whatnot and all that jazz, and yeah, I've just never got round to it basically. Do I want to do the aperture, because that's looking a bit dark. It'll do. But yeah, so yeah, anyone who does all sort of kids stuff aimed at for kids is kind of completely and utterly screwed over. And this is why YouTube is an absolutely terrible platform to do a living on, because it's so unstable. It's literally anything, you know, some new policy can come out of nowhere and just completely screw you over. I mean, the algorithm stopped recommending my videos all the way back in 2016. 2015. That's when my channel basically was left to curl up and die. But the everyone else probably going to be alright. What it will lead to is a lot more of the whole Google's algorithms and false flag. I mean, I'm glad Google got raked over the coals for that, because they've been breaching that up. Not just the US, but all over the world they've been breaching similar laws. With the whole predatory pull up and store as much detail on people as possible. Everyone, anyone, doesn't matter. Even people on the internet who don't even have the internet, they've found ways of harvesting their data. How? I don't know. You know, I consider Android like the platform of spyware. It's like so much bloody stuff comes with built-in spyware. Remember spyware was considered a bad thing? Yeah, just about every bloody smartphone on the sodding planet has pre-inbuilt spyware you can't even uninstall. You know, all this location access and all that crap, and it's just ridiculous, and Google's a big forerunner of it. Because their entire model is business model is off of basically ad revenue and advertisers. That's probably why they keep the YouTube platform running, even though it's not profitable. It's because it generates so much data they can use to make other parts of the business profitable. But I'm glad that Google got raked over the coals there. But the whole thing of individual content creators being able to be tried in court for it, I don't see how that really works from a legal standpoint, because As a content creator, you basically have no control on what data is harvested. At best, you can choose whether you advertise or not. So, you know, some pre-rolls, and the people who actually monetize might be better off chipping in at the contents on specifically what they let you do and what you can and can't do. The only way I can see the FTC even being able to come up, and this only applies to US citizens, so me as an Englishman, I'm fine, you know. I'm fine anyway, because, well, you've only got to look at analytics. It's just like most of my audience is older than me and has kids themselves. You know, the range when I last looked was anywhere sort of 30s to 40s. Kind of people who grew up with things like the Atari 2600 and whatnot, ZX Spectrums, Commodore 64s, Amstrads, that kind of stuff. Of the audience that actually watches. And literally, last look, there was literally no one under the age of 18. Barely any of my own age group watch my videos. So most of my stuff just appeals to older anyway. On top of that, I never have targeted any of my videos at or for kids. For one thing, I swear like a dockyard worker on YouTube, and I intend to keep that up because that's just kind of fun. You know, language can be used in many ways. And trying to keep myself from incoherent rambles, although I am good at an incoherent ramble. I was thinking I should use this lens, but then I'd be zoomed in even more. I've got it fixed. I've sorted out all the problems I was having with it, so that's good. Those elements still haven't dried, so we'll let it just sit some more. Yeah, I had to sort of clean out the lube out the aperture blades. Not an easy job. Because they went sticky, so it wouldn't close properly and all that jazz. And it's just like, it's closing properly now. But, so yeah, it's good. But yeah, I don't see how that can really stand up in court. Unless you're actively trying to commit fraud, and this would have to be stuff that goes to court. That's the only way it could work. And the FTC is a completely different beast to Google. They do not run on automated algorithms. There'd be long trials. What you more find is it's more sort of the onus would be on Google to there potentially be more channel terminations. I reckon the more false activation of videos being flagged as child for children, would be one that would be taken up. Let's just readjust the focus. There we goes. Oh, now we're back out of focus. Oh, God. I did mess with the depth of field a bit, but light's not great in here for that. I don't have no studio lighting. I have an LED torch in here somewhere. I don't know where he is. He's hiding. But the whole COPPA thing seems to be distracting from a more concerning thing that I've noticed in the new subscriptions. In the new end user license policy, whatever the bloody hell you call it. Is that you can... I don't know, you can see how chipped my teeth are from the years of chewing shit. And they're all wonky at the bottom from my wisdoms. Ah, those wisdoms, they're such wonderful things when they come through. Is the thing about, if your channel is not commercially viable, we are free to kill it, basically. And that really scares me because I'm one of those channels that doesn't do monetization. Even ones that do. I can see that easily leading to... Oh, you don't go into standby, you. I can see that easily leading to channels just being terminated left, right and centre for no reason whatsoever, no reason given. as usual, it basically just increase, and I would not be surprised that it would be used as an excuse for YouTube to kill channels they don't like, because they can be like, oh, you're not financially capable anymore, as well as just axing any small creators like myself. And it's not like I haven't put content out there of value. I mean, not every video is of value, but things like my +4 repair, I am yet to see anyone cover what I did to get the +4 up and running. I had to build it a new PLA chip using a 512 EEPROM. There's no one else who's covered that. There's no information on how to do it for the +4. I've got all the links to where the software is. When I eventually get my website up and running, I will host the files, because that is valuable information. There's stuff on how to do it for the Commodore 64, there's FPGAs for the Commodore 64, there is nothing for the +4 or C16. Which is really quite terrible, and it's one of those things. I like to try and put information out there that doesn't exist out there. You know, put something back, you know, back when the CRT viewfinders, when I hacked that CRT viewfinder, there was no information on how... Bastard! There was no information on how to do that. There was like, I found one website which told you about half the secret, the rest of it I had to figure out. And once I put my one up, suddenly, one by one, there were more websites covering it, to the point there would really be no need for me to launch that as my main thing. It was the most viewed page on the channel, that and the VFD clock, the discrete logic VFD clock, which some of you will remember, and there are videos on this channel covering that. My eternally long I started that project way over a decade ago now. You know, that project... That might be close to hitting, like... Is it close to hitting 20? No, I don't think it's close to hitting 20 years old, but it's certainly close to hitting 15 years old now. And it's just things like that would be lost. And that's the real worry about this, you know, just more channel terminations. That's the thing that really does genuinely scare me. Is that YouTube's going to go along and just terminate small channels, pretty much. You know, you're not making money, bit. Delete, delete. Hey look, that little tuffle of hair that's been there since this morning is still here. Yeah, I was working from home today. I like working from home there because you can basically just be unwashed in your gym jams. It's beautiful. It's bliss. That's you know, that's the nice thing about not having the parents. They're not there to complain. Oh, you need to have a shower. You need to have a shower. It's like, I've cleaned my teeth. I've done basic hygiene. I'm just going to have the shower before I go to bed, or bath before I go to bed. In this case, what's wrong with that? And I smell wonderful. Fresh flowers. But they've got nice get out of bed hair. And that's the bit that worries me, is it's going to lead to a lot of small channels being terminated. I could see it being used as a method for Google to push their political agenda they've been pushing for a long time, that they've mostly used AdSense. And this is getting into real tinfoil hat conspiracy theories. I don't have any tinfoil up here to make myself a quick tinfoil hat. But we can do the next best thing of... my aluminium foil hat. Haha! Made out of LCD screens and stuff. And the main thing is I could see it. Google has a political agenda. They don't like what you're saying. A lot of the political channels are, you know, like even Sargon of Akkad has like just been demonetized to all hell. That's a good example. Amazing Atheist. I can demonetize them. Oh, your channel isn't commercially viable anymore. So not only have we demonetized you, so it can't be commercially viable. Because of that, we're going to terminate you. And the camera's about to overheat because the thing's a piece of shit. Well, and all that good jazz. But running to the end of what I'm getting to here, COPPA is not going to be such a huge, big thing, really, to be honest. I think it's a case of being overblown. I would be more concerned about the new terms of service with that whole commercially viable thing, because I can see that being used two ways. It's going to screw over small creators, as if, well, like, small creators like me aren't screwed over enough, where the algorithm doesn't even recommend you. Or it's going to be used as some sort of like political censorship system that could be, oh, we demonetized you, you're non-commercially viable, so now we can terminate you and make you go away. Bit tinfoil hat, but I wouldn't put it past Google. My irises are quite wide. And you can see the one which is bigger than the other one. Don't steal my iris data and make your own fake eye so you can, yeah, I don't have any of that kind of access control. Anyway, thanks for watching. I want to get this camera before it overheats. Have a good one, and yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole SOPA. It sort of reminds me of the SOPA and that. Yeah, I can look at things with a lot less hysteria these days. That's the good thing about being a bit older. It's like fuck you, mate. YouTube, but a bit more sort of intelligent about it than when I was in my early 20s. Ow, and I've got a mess of screwdrivers to clear up.